Uh, Last week we had a free-flowing conversation. So this week we're gonna have a very formatted conversation with topics, talking points, and visuals.
We start.
I think so. Yeah.
I just looked up and Pat was gone.
Oh. that's a sign right there. Like, oh, we're starting. Proper Ebonics.
Proper Ebonics, I'm saying, episode 109.
109. That you're probably right. I feel like you're good at guessing that. I would have said 108, but that may have been the last episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's 108 was last episode. Yeah. This episode is it's funny that we starting off this way because I feel like neither one of our eyes are open completely. I feel like we're both just woke up just like what episode is this? Good morning.
what podcast is this? What? Yeah, and I woke up yesterday was a long day, and hello viewers, just want to say hello. Yeah, yesterday was like a long day that ended in some very nice comedy. However, when I got home, it was a little nap time, prolonged nap time, and that nap time escalated to about 8 o'clock. So I wish I got more sleep. I could have gotten some more, but I feel awake. I feel like generally this is my eye demeanor. What's your situation?
Yeah, I just woke up not too long ago. So yeah, I mean, I got home and I was up though. Like I was up to like probably like 3 a.m.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, so I just woke up. I knew I was pushing it last night, and I was like, let me set an alarm today. You know what I mean? So I was like, let me set my alarm. Because if I ain't set my alarm, I don't know if I'd have been up. You know what I mean?
We're doing it half an hour earlier than we usually do too. It was kind of weird that we chose that. Like we both knew we were going to be out at night. You're right, I did.
He said we.
Yeah, your boy has some commitments on this Sunday, so I had to move it up a bit. But I was gonna ask, like, how are you doing? But that would be a false question. Got to bump into you last night and saw how you were doing, and seemingly well.
Yeah, man. Last night we were at the Church of Satire Comedy Club.
Very nice.
Performing. It was good, yeah. So like I'm doing well. I'm happy with the way the weekend turned out. You know what I mean? Like I did comedy, seen my homies, I had free pizza, I sold some merch, told some jokes, you know, so it's a good weekend.
Shook hands with the cops.
Oh, you know what's crazy? So I have that happen a lot.
Yeah.
Like I have jokes like that are about cops and getting pulled over, and they're good jokes. And every time there's cops in the audience, they always come up to me and they always tell me, they literally always say the same thing about how it's truthful. Like about how my cop jokes are truthful and it's truthful but funny. You know what I mean? And they always say the same thing, like, yeah, I'm a cop. That's really how it goes. You know what I mean? Like, thanks.
For our cop friend, if he's listening, because he was very vocal afterwards, just about like his family. He was cracking some jokes too. I think they took a look at the merch. If they're listening to this right now, hello. This may be the time where we get a cop on the show. We've been talking about it for a few years. We were talking about, we want to bring everyone together. We may get some cops on the show.
We'll just scold them for an hour. Just like, why are you a cop? Who bullied you into being a cop in high school? Like what?
I'd be curious to hear the answers. Who knows? What if they have some answers that's like eye-opening for us?
So I think that the whole cop thing, you have to, like, knowing the way the system is, right? You have to be complicit in this shit a little bit, bro. Like, there's no way. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be a cop and be like 100% on my side. It's kind of impossible because you took that job. Who's like who the history of that job is like catching slaves, and like it's like a weird thing to like even my mom is a correctional officer and I still give her shit. Like she work at like a jail. I'm just like, come on, you narc. You know what I mean? So it's kind of You know what I mean?
Producer Pat suggests that we can do a reverse Scared Straight. If we can get a cop on and do the exact opposite of the critically acclaimed series Scared Straight, that would be interesting. It's like,
Yeah,
hey, we're here for a conversation, but we get them on Zoom and just scream at them for like 20 minutes straight.
we gotta have a flashlight on the camera so they can't see. Shake it. It's like cops do. Cops just get their flashlight, just shake it on you like this. So you're nervous. You're like, what's going on? But how many of it is it?
That dude last night, first off, phenomenal show. Throughout the whole thing, it was like from beginning to end, people were there, everyone was into it. I was happy enough to do a feature spot. That was very cool. And then you rocked out for like 40 plus minutes, which was very cool to see. After the show, the dude and his family, the cop gentleman, yeah, he came up and he was very much like his stepson shook my hand. And then he was like, oh, you never know where that hand's going to be. And I was like, oh, that's kind of like a funny thing. And then there's, I guess the stepson or like the son-in-law shook your hand. And then he followed up with like, yeah, that guy's having sex with my daughter. And I was like, oh, he was.
So this what happened because the son-in-law, whoever it is, he shook my hand, said the same thing. He was like, you never know where this hand has been.
He said that to you too?
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, you don't know where my hand has been either. Like, what are you talking about? And then the cop was like, here's marry my daughter. You know.
He even say marry. He said he's having sex with my daughter. Like I was like, oh, I was like, oh, okay. That's you got a little dynamic with the son-in-law, very playful. The daughter heard it. You could hear her giggling. I was like, what kind of dynamic is this? This is
that's normal for them. Like she giggled. Like this is the conversation that they have. It's a very white relationship. Okay, this is not something that happens in the black neighborhoods. You don't sit here and joke about fucking someone's daughter in front of them. You just don't do that. I wish a dude would, like when my kids are older, like, hey, Mr. Massenburg, man, I'm like, man, you better get out my face, dog. Like, who are you talking to like that? Like, you don't play like.
Keep my daughter's name out of your mouth. I think that's what you said. You said something along those lines. Yeah. I don't know. So real quick regarding kind of like more so wedding traditions, and I don't know the difference between like black wedding traditions and white wedding traditions. But one of the things I've noticed, a lot of the weddings I've gone to where maybe it's like a white couple, there's a lot of kind of like celebration of the intimate moments in front of everyone. Like there's like the garnet part where like you go up the person's thigh,
yeah,
and then put the garnet up, along with like if you clink the glass, you're supposed to kiss a bunch, and a lot of times it's like the parents clinking the glass. Does that not happen so much at black weddings?
Yeah, that happens. Like the whole garter belt thing or whatever it's called, and when they put the thing up the person's leg. Yeah, that happens.
Very seductive. Very
seductive. That gets very freaky. You be sitting there looking at the bride's thigh. You be like, oh, okay. You get divorced, I'm gonna marry you next. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Damn.
So you do see that at the black weddings, but the whole specifically talking about how you're nailing someone's daughter, I've never seen it happen.
That was explicit. Like people get in the zone, man. Whenever they're at a comedy show, I feel like that's when they let the most loose, which is good. I guess it's like we did our job, where they feel like, oh, we could really let our guard down. But imagine going home and some people, like, you know, the guard is gradually coming back up for the family, but there's maybe one member whose guard just stays down, and they just start saying the wildest stuff during the car ride. Like, what else did he say to his daughter and son-in-law? And what sort of conversations are they having this morning where they may regret a few things?
That's the thing. I don't think anything's off the table. I think that this is their normal conversation. He probably talks about going down on his daughter and all this kind of stuff. Like, I guarantee they talk about giving each other head at the dinner table with their parents.
You guarantee this. This is a guarantee from you.
There's no way. You don't in public. Like they were in public in front of strangers. You and I are strangers.
Yeah.
He said that in front of us. You shouldn't say that in front of her dad, first of all. And we're strangers. Like you're just trying to make strangers laugh. No, this is normal behavior.
Come on, bro. That's what we do. That's like our whole thing.
It's our what? Look, it's our what? It's what we normally do, right?
True.
It's what we do. It's what they normally do. Like I feel like this is this is normal to them. They got back in the car and they were like, they didn't even talk about it. It was just normal. They just drove away.
Producer Pat and I were talking about the idea of when people, especially as you get older and you drink, a lot of times there's the idea of having a Hanxiety sort of thing, where like maybe it's hangover induced anxiety. And I wonder how much we see this at shows, a lot of times older crowds as well, of like, maybe drinking, having a nice little time, feeling the love or whatever. And then the next day, just full blown anxiety because you're not too sure what you may have disclosed. You had no reservation in your speech. What sort of messages did you send via Instagram to people? Have you ever had this in your age, your wise old age?
Yeah, for sure. Like I've definitely had times where I had to like literally go through my call log to see who I called, check my text messages to see what I've done, check Instagram to see who I messaged. Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely caused a lot by alcohol for sure. A lot of things I wouldn't have done if I was sober. You know what I mean? Like I didn't need to text her at 3 a.m. She doesn't even live around here. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I didn't have to do that. I wouldn't have done that if I had a sober mind, but I was drunk, shooting my shot, whatever. You know what I mean? So I think, yeah, for sure. I think that's a good, what was the name of the phrase? Hanxiety?
Anxiety, which I don't know who I originally heard the term from. Shout out to Nathan. I think it may have been my buddy Nathan. If it wasn't Nathan, then perhaps I rescind that shout out, but shout out to Nathan. Yeah, Hanxiety is the term for it. I had a little anxiety yesterday. I don't know if you could tell. It wore off by the time I got there. I had some drinks Friday, but it wasn't a lot. It wasn't like I'm going to do this to get drunk. It was just like, oh, watching a movie, going to have some drinks. And then Saturday, I was kind of like in a rush through everything, going to like the wedding shower. I didn't realize they're midway through the wedding shower. I was like, oh, am I hungover right now? It just kicked in out of nowhere. And I was like, damn, I need a Gatorade. It was like, it just out of nowhere just felt like, oh, I feel like almost semi buzzed again.
Yeah.
And had a little bit of that. But it's my version of anxiety. It's never really along the lines of like, oh, did I send that message or anything like that? It's more so anxiety in general is just enhanced. It just feels like that. It's just like, oh, that's just in the forefront of things, which can be a bummer. So be careful when you drink out there. You may get anxious after.
Did you have more drinks when you got to where you were going, or it just set in eventually?
Yeah, it just sat in. They had drinks, but I was like, I'm gonna hold off for a little bit. And then that kicked in. And I was like, oh, I'm definitely gonna be good on having some drinks. But it was definitely a fun time. It was just you had to kind of combat a little bit of that on the side of it.
Yeah. Nah, I think that the only time that I would have the anxiety is probably reaching out to people, like just being like hungover and being drunk. That's fun. Like, that's like, it's like, yeah, it's like it's left over. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have to put any extra work in it. I feel great. You know.
One thing I'm actually kind of curious about, and like as noted, we got some topics that we got to cover. We got a certain amount of time, and there's something you mentioned to me that Black China. What's the deal with Black China? I have no idea what's up with Black China.
Yo, Black China is so funny, yo. So she put it like she put like a tweet or Instagram post up talking about how like she is a single mother and she don't get no child support. She's doing it on her own and all this stuff. And both of her baby dads commented on it, right? So you know she got a kid with Tiger.
Oh.
She got a kid with Rob Kardashian.
Oh.
So it was hilarious because they both commented like kind of the same thing. They were like, what are you talking about? Like, I have custody of the kids. I pay for everything. You don't have any, like, what are you talking about? And then Tiger said the same thing. Like, yeah, I have custody of the kids. I pay for the school. I pay for medical care. Like, what support are you looking for? You know what I mean?
So Black China.
It was just funny to see that, like, and they both like put like I guess the day that China has her kids is like Sunday. You know what I mean? And so everybody's like counting, like, so somebody had tweeted and said, it's crazy because Black China can never take her kids to Chick-fil-A. Yeah, they only open on Sunday.
Yes, they close on Sundays. Yeah. What is I'm not trying to be like willfully ignorant. Black China, is she a model or does she rap?
I model. Let's just say she model.
Because I know she's affiliated with a lot of people. I know her from like she was dating like the Rob Kardashian, and Kanye mentioned her a few times. But I don't really know what Black China does.
I'm pretty sure she started like she was like a dancer, a stripper at first. You know what I
Oh,
mean? And got cute girl, got her body done, living in Hollywood, just running. You know how it go, man. Like
I don't know how it goes.
you know
I
how it
don't.
go.
If you're like, she's like, she owns like a boutique shop, and then she just got affiliated with all the Kardashians. I'm like, all right, that's kind of wild, but I don't know in terms of like professional endeavors. I don't necessarily know.
I don't know her exact claim to fame, but I'm
It
pretty
may
sure it
be.
had something. I'm pretty sure it had something to do with her just being sexy. You know what I mean? Like
Oh man,
I know that she went on like this run where she was like dealing with all these like young unknown rappers. It was weird. Like they could have like a where are they now just for like the rappers she's dated. You know what I mean?
a VH1 special just on that. Um, yeah, I mean, it's being a single mother sounds like it would be difficult. My mom was a single mom. And I guess for Black China, she's saying that she's not getting support, but it was swiftly combated by the people that state that oh no no no, we are the support.
Yeah. It was just a very like unprovoked dragging that happened. Like she didn't have to say anything about any of that, but it has turned into like both her baby dads like, yo, that's not the case. And then she's been getting like played on Twitter like for the last 4 or 5 days. You know what I mean? Like, yo, if you just shut up, this wouldn't have been happening. You know what I mean?
Damn, I wonder what it's like for the kids. Not in like a sense of like, oh man, feel bad for kids and sure whatever, but if you have like, I guess like famous parents like that and they're feuding on Twitter and then it's like a bunch of people giving their input. What is that like? What is that like if you're like a kid and like say like if the favorable or even the majority thought is anti your mom, like nonstop, like yo, your mom stinks.
Anti your mom.
Yeah, it's like how does the mom do the parenting afterwards? It's like you just bring up quotes from Twitter whenever your mom tries to reprimand you.
I think so. Like even when as you say that, it makes me think about like Kim and Kanye too. You know how
Hmm.
they have their struggles and they got a bunch of kids. Um, for one, I'm not sure how aware the kids are what's going on Twitter or what's going on Instagram. Like my kids, like if me and my kids' mom were like beefing on Instagram, like my kids wouldn't know
Really?
because they're not on Instagram.
If you were beefing on TikTok though.
If I was beefing on TikTok or Snapchat, then they might know, But like my kids, they think my kids think Twitter is for old people. So it's kind of like if I'm beefing on Twitter, my baby mom, like they might not even know about it.
They
But
probably just think it's court. Like, yeah, they're doing some court stuff. Yeah, that's what adults do.
yeah, they go to Twitter. What do you? Yeah, but no, like now if my kids did know about it, like my kids, so like, what's crazy? As I say this, like my kids see me and their mom beef or argue, or they see that. It's just so I would think the conversation would be the same conversation as if it was online. Just like this is not right. This is I made a mistake here. She made a mistake here. We gotta do better. You know what I mean? So it's not like, oh no, because we argued on Twitter, we should talk about it. Like when me and my baby mom argue in real life, like me and the kids we'll talk about it. You know what I mean? Like I'll see how they feel. I'll tell them why and how I feel. You know what I mean? So it's like I think that I don't think it's anything different if it's just because it's on social media. You know what I mean? You might tell the kids like, yo, we shouldn't do this online because that's weird. But like you're gonna have disagreements, like
I would love if there was like a platform that only kids knew about, and it's one where like say if their parents are like grounding them or like reprimanding them, it's just a space where they could drag their parents, and it's just all the other kids see it and all the other kids like, yeah, that's right, that your dad is wrong for that. Like I would love if there's a network for that. It'd be very weird if I was paying attention to that network as a single dude with no kids, but the idea of it is humorous.
yeah, I always think that when I hear about networks just for kids, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah. As I was saying it too, I was like, man, why is this a thought?
Yeah, I even seen like they do this thing on like Facebook a lot for some reason where they're just like they're like these hashtag games where it's like post your first child, hashtag post your oldest child, or like post your daughters. And I never understood why people participate in those things, because like you can literally click this hashtag and just like scroll down like everybody's kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like if I'm a predator, this is where I'm going. I'm going to Facebook and I'm searching. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I just think it's weird that people do that. They be like hashtag National Daughter Day. And it's like, oh yeah, here we go. You know what I mean? It's just
It's
like
funny, you have the like the parent side of it where you have that perspective. Because part of me would be like, oh, maybe because I'm not a parent, I don't recognize like, you know, it feels like there's a big thing when it comes to when you think like adult children relationship, and there's kind of like a not a negative connotation, but like a corrupt connotation that goes through society, like one of the first thoughts you think, and it's always inappropriate. um, and I'm wondering like, oh well, maybe, you know, as a parent that completely is wiped away, where it's like you're not even thinking about that. It's just like, oh, you're sharing something, a photo of a family member you really care about. But it sounds like as a parent you still have some of those reservations as well.
yeah, man. Like I know from being online for so many years and having strangers comment on my stuff, people are just weird, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm,
and my kids, like I hope, like my kids, like I protect them as much as possible. They're the closest thing to my heart. You know what I mean?
mm.
So it's like
What a
me
kind thing to
putting,
say. What a kind thing
huh?
to say. What a kind thing to say.
It's the truth. That's why, like, that's why I don't post my kids, because like if if somebody like, because I know the ill comments that I've gotten, that I get. If someone says something foul about my kids, I'm liable to not be okay about it. Like I'm liable to do something. I'm liable to see where you live. Like I'm liable, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like just
Mm.
to avoid all that. And I know how weird the internet is.
Yeah.
The internet's not a place for your children. Like
Mm.
I think it's weird. Like people would like literally, people will literally post their kids like every other day. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like I know I don't like when I see this, right? When I see a kid walking down the street and I know the kid. I don't like that.
What do you mean?
Like I'm gonna explain to you. Like I follow so many parents, right? And like I'll see a kid walking down the street and I'll be knowing like, oh, I know who your mom is. Like I shouldn't know that
Uh,
off the top of my head. You know what I
because they
mean?
post, oh, because they posted
They
online
post
sort of
them
thing.
so much.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? So I don't want that for my kids. I don't want somebody to have an issue with me and see my kids walking down the street. Oh, that's Alan kids right there. Remember Alan said that shit I didn't like? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't want that. You know what I mean? Like,
You are a protector of family, perhaps a vessel of love, some would say. um,
yeah.
Something I wanted to touch on real quick. Obviously, a big thing in news. We may touch on it a little bit, but there's something that kind of got overshadowed in the news that happened this week. So, for all my URL heads over there, my battle rap fans, Cortez versus Sue Surf, the highly awaited battle, like over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
This was finally going to happen at any given Sunday last week. And right before the main event, which was this one, was about to happen, it got canceled. Smack said, hey, we can't do this. We're shutting down the event. Unfortunately, it was due to an altercation backstage at the show. Someone apparently had, I guess, straight up stabbed someone from Sue Surf's team. And then that
Wow.
led to Sue Surf's team attacking the assailant, and just overall violence back there, which you don't really see too much in URL anymore in 2022. So I guess throwback, I don't know. But ultimately, they canceled the event, a long awaited battle. I was excited for it. And it was a bummer. It was a bummer, man. And people are kind of, in terms of Sue Surf, he's gotten some kind of trouble before, and he's on tape telling the people, his buddies, to smash the individual, the person that I guess stabbed his friend allegedly, which depends
That's
on what
fair.
you. Yeah,
That's
no,
fair.
I get, in terms of what you consider justified. It doesn't look great in terms of it's like at a public venue. It's supposed to, a lot of times people associate that with battle rap, and that's, some people say like it's a part of the culture, but I think ultimately a lot of times people are going just to have a good time, just to like see the collision of these lyrical feuds. And that's, I know that's what I was looking forward to the most with this one, especially because it was like a 10-year-old like feud, and now we may not see it. Man, it's a bit of a bummer, It got overshadowed because something else happened in the news, but it was something that did indeed happen.
Something's crazy in the news when a stabbing is overshadowed by a slap.
I know, yeah, it made nowhere. I know.
But look, what did they? So you said they were feuding. Like, what do you mean feuding? Like they were like,
No, never, like nothing like violent or anything like that. But like they're constantly going back and forth. Like they name drop each other. They're both veterans. They both been doing it for a while, and they've constantly kind of like thrown shots at each other, both in interviews and in their battles for years now. And with them both being veterans, and they're both kind of like in a renaissance too, of like their Sue Surf, he had a time where he was kind of just dipping out a little bit. He took some time off, and he's been on a crazy run. He's been just killing it. And same with Cortez. So this is going to be like a really good battle, maybe. But and we as the audience, we did not get to see that, and it was a bummer. And you could tell Smack was a little sad as well.
is the person that got stabbed okay? They didn't die, did they?
No, no, I Sue Surf like posted a video of like the guy. It was very it was kind of disgusting. It was, I don't know what kind of stabbing, but it was like it looked like his flesh was off his skin. It was brutal. Yeah, it was just like, that's another thing. It's like, oh, I don't want to associate that with. I get a lot of times battle rap has crazy bars. It's like a whole part of it. But for me, it feels unfortunate when you see that go beyond the lyrics, especially with veterans, because it's like, oh man, you kind of hope at this point that it's not something that you'll see. It's like you've done this before, you know the culture, but I guess things happen too.
You got to realize, man, those dudes is most of them is just dudes from the street, man. I mean, like somebody get disrespected, some has to happen. So backstage, something happened. It's unfortunate, but that's literally like they not a lot of rappers. I think people forget is like there are some rappers that are like perpetrating a fraud and they're not really who they say they are.
Right.
But then there's some rappers who are who they say they are. And more, even more so, the entourages are usually who the rappers are talking about.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like when they get into it, it's ugly because people get stabbed, people get shot. Like really happens. Like
it doesn't help when the leader is saying smash him like on tape a bunch. It's like on Sue Surf's end, I don't know these people. I'll give a heads up on that. I may have shot them a little likes here and there on Instagram, but I don't know these people. But Sue Surf, man, he's gotten some kind of some history in the past. He's one battle was ended up canceled because he ended up going to jail right before it, sort of thing. And he's on like in a public venue where like cameras are all over the place. So it must have been highly emotional. Of like, I'm not even going to hide this. This is just what I'm going to throw out there. And I don't know, it's a bit of a bummer. I really wanted to see that battle. That's the main thing. I'm making it about me. I wanted to see this damn battle. Couldn't see it.
You might listen. You might still see the battle. You know what I mean? But I feel like Sue Surf, if like somebody stab you, I'm telling niggas to smash him. Yo, smash this dude, B. Smash him. Like, no, there's no. I don't care what cameras. We're not going to just be like, kumbaya. We're gonna be like, yo, get this nigga, son. You know what I mean? So like, I understand the energy. Like, I get it. So like, yeah, Sue Surf might have been in a public venue, but like, if his man got stabbed, you gotta react to that. Somebody gotta get smashed, son.
Oh man, well, I'm glad it didn't escalate to that last night at church satire. I'm glad no one was smashed.
I mean, that cop's daughter was.
Yeah, he let us know that. So I guess smashed in a good way.
Yeah, but I think that Smack is going to, because he's smart. He's really smart businessman.
Yeah,
he's going to fix it all up and get them guys back on, because this now is going to be so big and so crazy because the stabbing and everything that led up to it, like when they finally battle, it's going to be a crazy event.
My concern is that Sue Surf will get some sort of trouble for this, though. Of like, and you're on tape and you're kind of like, I don't know in terms of like the terminology for it, but if you're maybe inciting some sort of a riot or assault on camera of like instructing people to assault someone, I think you get ramifications for that.
That's self-defense, ain't it? Then somebody, you trying to beat the guy
No,
up.
but it wasn't like immediate self-defense of like, oh, someone's attacking me, I gotta attack them back. It was like someone attacked someone that I know, and now I'm instructing them to, it's not even me, I'm instructing other people to do this. So I'm not a lawyer, but
Let me tell you like this, Kirk. In the streets, it ain't even about if it's legal or not. It's
no, I
about like,
recognize like in the streets, but in the courtroom I'm talking about.
what I'm saying is Sue Surf don't care. And I feel that if someone stabbed you, I'm not going to be like, yo, I mean, I don't want to get in trouble. No, they got to get dealt with. It's just what it is. He's not worried about the ramifications of it. To him, being a stand-up dude is more important than whatever could happen in court.
Right. Yeah, I'm not even necessarily saying like he's right or wrong necessarily. I guess just me as someone that wants to see battle rap and him. That's what I mainly want to see. So Sue Surf and Cortez and all that. I hope everything works out, and stay away from the knives perhaps. And we look forward to the battle. Smack always completes the objective, so I'm sure we're going to see that battle down the road.
It's going to be an event. Smack is a very smart businessman. Nobody's going to jail. He's going to make sure everybody's free, and they're going to do an event without entourages or something. But it's going to be something because it's money to be made there.
Oh. So I feel like we've been kind of tap dancing around a little bit, and we would be remiss if we didn't mention another big story that happened on Sunday. It's been talked about so much at this point where it's just like, part of us is kind of like, do we really want to talk about it? We'll talk about an aspect of it though. Will Smith, his production on Netflix has been halted as a result of his incident at the Oscars, which, by the way, real quick, congratulations on Will Smith for winning an Oscar. I think we could separate the two. Yeah, that's very nice.
Congratulations to Samuel L. Jackson, Questlove. They won Oscars. We forgot about that.
Yeah, we forgot about a lot of things that night. Shout out to Coda. They won Best Picture, but yeah, it's so as a result of him getting up on stage and smacking Chris Rock, and then verbally having some words with him. That's a weird way to phrase it. Verbally having some words with him.
Physically having words.
Physically, and then verbally. It was a whole incident. It was, I mean, if you haven't seen it by now, congratulations. But it was a whole thing. And now we're seeing a little bit of we're seeing the aftermath, and it's slowly playing out. And for someone like, Will Smith, blockbuster, I'm going to say it, music icon. There, I said it, and that's how I feel.
I mean, listen, first rapper to win a Grammy.
And we were talking about it that day, I think, right? We were talking about it that morning.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy. It's the idea of someone we talk about the idea of parasocial relationships a lot, of like how maybe we don't really know celebrities in a way, or even like just people that we may know online just from that avenue, and we build like these emotional attachments with them. We don't actually know Will Smith. We don't know Chris Rock. We don't know what sort of things they actually have.
Speak for yourself.
Oh, that's right. No, sorry. You do know Will Smith. Yes, you've been held by Will Smith. He was slapping your back to try to burp you.
I threw up on Will Smith's shoulder. Okay.
If you did that today, boy, you got to be careful.
Right.
You got to be real careful. Sort of moves you're doing around Big Willie. It's funny. I was listening to his music like this week, and it's funny how many times he kind of alludes to violence a little bit, of like it's very much like I'm gonna hold back, you better not let me do that. Like, it's very much like, I don't resort to violence, but I'd be wilding. Like, it's like, and then to actually see it in place, it's like, oh man, those weren't just lyrics.
Yeah. That's normally like rappers do like a verses, all their numbers go up. But Will Smith was like, no, I got a better idea to make my album stream.
Yeah, I did stream all of Millennium this weekend, so
I'm so
Yeah,
mad. I'm so mad. You know the name of a Will Smith album.
yeah. Well, yeah, man.
So crazy.
It kind of brought me back to it of like, so we have this idea of like, we built, at least on my end, I built this relationship with Will Smith, like, oh man, that's just someone I enjoy seeing. Like I don't know them, but like whenever they're on TV or whatever, I just enjoy their presence.
Yeah.
And then I think that's this case for many people with Will Smith. And then to have that sort of character with that overall disposition, just happiness, to have a moment of not so pleasant actions with a little bit of violence in there. It was just bizarre.
Yeah.
Still can't wrap my head fully around it, despite it being what we're seeing nonstop 24/7 for the last 6-7 days.
Yeah.
So it looks like one of the ramifications, along with resigning from the Academy, is that Netflix has halted production of one of his series. I think it's actual movie.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, movie or series or what it is, but whatever it is, they halted the production of it. Yeah.
Do you feel it's justified?
No. No, I don't. Nah, I don't. The only thing I can think about is they halted production because they're afraid that people are no longer like Will Smith and want to watch it. You know what I mean? I don't think that it's like, this is punishment for putting your hands on a fellow actor. I don't think it's that. I think it's strictly numbers. Like, yo, are we gonna be able to make our money back off of this? You know what I mean? Because there are people that have done way worse things that would have catalogs on Netflix. So it's kind of like,
yeah,
I don't
the
know.
dude who's playing the Flash, I forgot, it's like Bruce Pratt. If you could look up, I think it's like Isa Miller. He was in We Need to Talk About Kevin. Good actor, for what I've seen. He recently got like arrested for like assaulting like his girlfriend and like attacking the people that bailed him out. And we're not hearing anything about that. There's no stop at the production of it. So it really is about, at least it seems like it's really about public perception. And since this is what everyone is talking about, people are worried about what sort of money I guess they'll get back from doing a project with Will Smith. Do you feel this will affect his career, in the sense that he may not be able to have as many opportunities?
I think it will. I think it will. I feel like it already is. It's halting this Netflix thing. That's affecting. That's an effect of it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like, how do I explain this? Like, it's going to be a whole bunch of knee-jerk reactions because of what Will Smith did. I got. We're here now. I feel like Will Smith and Chris Rock are both wrong, right? But I don't feel like Will Smith was so wrong that his career should be over. Like, people, like I'm saying, like Harvey Weinstein has been known to do a whole bunch of. He's convicted of rape. Is he like still making movies though? Like,
no, I think he straight up got arrested. I think he's in jail.
He's in jail?
Yeah.
I don't even know. But I'm sure like there was accusations going around and he was still making movies the whole time. You know what I mean?
Huh. I was looking up the dude, and Bruce Pratt found him as well. Isa Miller is the guy that plays the Flash, and one of the aspects of it, I'm wondering what sort of, I wonder if it really depends on the type of project as well that Smith is doing. Because I don't know if you saw this. The title of it is Loose and Furious. So I was like, oh, why? What was the name of the project? I went to go look that up. It's Loose and Furious. So maybe that has something to do with it too.
That seems like a great project for Will Smith.
Oh my goodness.
Listen, if it's anybody I want starring in Loose and Furious, it's someone that was loose and very furious on national TV. Because listen, that role is believable now.
Yeah, man, that's another one.
That's so good.
I don't.
If the movie was called like Slow and Cautious and Calm, like I understand why they put a halt on it, but the shit is called what you've seen him do. Like, let him do
it. He's just yeah, man. I don't think it will actually. I don't know. It's hard to say. I guess we'll see. I can't see it having long lasting effects on his career. I can't see people only being like, let's not cast Will Smith in something. But who knows? I mean, it is it's an international story at this point. It's crazy how much this took off.
It's I think
Also,
that they're
maybe
gonna
not maybe not even crazy. It is kind of a super bizarre, surreal situation.
it's
It
wild.
makes sense that people are talking about it.
It's wild. When I wasn't watching the Oscars. I heard it, like my girlfriend got a text message, and when she read it, I literally said to her, "That's not true. There's no way that's real. Like that's." I had to like get online and check for myself. Like it's like this can't be real.
Oh,
But I think that so this is the spin I want to put on it, right? I
oh,
feel like Will Smith's career will forever be impacted by it. I don't think he will ever return to the level that he is at. He definitely will never ever win an Oscar again.
yeah. I think a
Like
part of like resigning from the Academy is a part of that. Like he can't be nominated. I think.
I don't I don't know what that entails, but it's going to change for him. And I think that it's not going to change for him because the smack, so to speak, right? It's going to change because who did the smacking. You can't be a black man and show any aggression in this world. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because now you're labeled as an angry black man.
Mm.
Period. So now you're gonna have people saying, "Oh, we can't cast Will Smith because of the smack." Well, no, what really is you got people that see a angry black man that won't go pay to see his movies now. So now
Yeah.
it's affecting bottom dollar, and that's what really matters. So it's
Mm.
like if Will Smith went up there, beat him up, put him in a full Nelson and a people's elbow, if people was still people wasn't if there wasn't any backlash, people will still go see his movies, then they would just keep putting him in movies. Like if people gonna still pay to see him, they're gonna book him. But if the people are like, I'm not going to see this Will Smith shit, then that's going to affect his career. And I think that's going to happen because there's so much of America that just sees an angry black man, and then they're like, oh no, we got to punish that angry black man. Like, that's what's going to happen. Like it will never be the same for him. That's my theory.
Yeah, no, that's definitely like a part of his what he's going to be associated with. Whether 20 years from now, if people are going to think Will Smith Independence Day or Will Smith smacking Chris Rock, I guess time will tell. But yeah, you could already this is like a big one, and it's associated with one of the highest achievements of his career. Although sometimes it's like, what does the Oscars really mean? But I think it still does have meaning. And his performance in King Richard, phenomenal. Like I do want to like detach the two things because that was a really good movie. I don't know if you saw it, but he rocked out in that one.
Yeah, I think he was still in character. That's why he smacked Will Smith.
That's what he was saying. That's why he did a Chris Rock. Yeah, that's I don't know what sort of things happen in the house. So I feel like one thing that because we're seeing people talk about so much, including us, a lot of people are having discussions on like, well, him and Jada need to get a divorce, this and that. To me, we're just outsiders. We don't fully know exactly what they're doing. I get they're being public about a lot of it, and a lot of times you could like kind of bring things about from that. But we're seeing it down to the point where people are breaking down their nonverbals of like, what did she do after the slap? What was she doing before the slap? Why was he smiling during the joke? It's like there's a lot of aspects of human emotions and just nonverbals that we don't have a full grasp on. So to be able to make definitive statements about a relationship or someone's state of mind based off what we're seeing, I don't know. I get making assumptions, but people are going out there with like strong, definitive, like this is definitely the case. And that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. No, like you said though, they made their relationship pretty public. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So everybody feels like they have a say on what's going on in their relationship and everything. The one thing I will say though, they have a strong relationship because they go through a hell of a lot in the public eye. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they go through a lot, you know. But like people, listen, everybody gonna break it down. Everybody gonna read nonverbals. Everybody gonna look at the past. Everybody trying to figure out everything. Everybody's a detective. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh,
this is human behavior. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't expect people to do anything less. You know what I mean? I say we give it like I think we got like another 4 days of this shit. Like another 4 days of people just like talking about it
I
before
think
it goes.
4 days, but also like because the aftermath in terms of like what sort of things are going to come out of it, I think it's going to be even longer than that. Like
Yeah.
I've heard people say this is the new 9/11. I've heard people say that of like, yo, you'll never forget where you were when you heard about Will Smith smack Chris Rock at the
Uh,
Oscars.
where were you when JFK died?
Yeah.
Like, it's come on, man. People get smacked every day.
This is a unique smacking though. This is definitely through all the characters of this one of like all likable people in Chris Rock, Will Smith, especially at the Oscars, and when he's about to win. No, this is a very unique situation. So I get why people are talking about it. It's definitely different from everyday smackings that we may see.
Yeah. Another thing, we talked about this last night, but another thing I wanted to say real quick before I forget is I watched an interview with Chris Rock probably during the pandemic, like a year and a half ago, and he was talking about he has a condition where he has difficulty reading nonverbal cues. Like there's like a name for it. Because everybody was saying like he didn't know Will Smith was about to come up there, and he didn't try to move or dodge. And I seen somebody repost this interview, and I was like, oh snaps, that's right. He does have this thing where his difficulty reading nonverbal cues and communication. So he dead ass didn't understand what was happening. You know what I
Huh.
mean? He was just like, oh, here comes my buddy Will. You know what I mean? Coming to give me a hug. Swat. You know what I mean? So it's like he didn't even understand what was about to happen.
Yeah, I'm very curious to hear from him. Like honestly, I'd like to hear a sit down interview or even like a podcast. You know, I've been very curious of Neil Brennan. I think
Yeah.
Neil Brennan because he's like cool with both of them, sort of thing. Like he's very vocal with like his relationship with both of them. I kind of want to hear a conversation mediated by Neil Brennan with Will Smith and Chris Rock.
What's going to happen is they're going to put what's that shit? They're going to put them at the red table talk.
I hope Chris doesn't do it. Okay. I feel like that's like because it's on the Smiths terms completely. But I felt bad for Chris Rock. It felt like there's a lot of people making jokes as Spence, and I know, just we probably have a similar upbringings in the sense of you're maybe like on the smaller side as a kid, and you may have got like bullied a lot or whatever, and everyone was focused on Will Smith, but no one really talked about like, oh, what about Chris Rock and whatever he's going through,
They say
and
Chris
smacked
Rock.
it out. What's up?
They say Chris Rock used to get beat up and bullied a lot as a kid.
Yeah. And then the idea of like having that happen on live TV, and then I'm sure he'll be able to handle it okay, but that's like a big thing to kind of just overlook.
They better start bobbing and weaving, bro. You got to understand when somebody walking up on you, you got to move, bro. Like if you get beat up all your life, you got to understand what a beat up look like. You know what I mean?
What a beat up look like.
You got to move, bro. You got to defend yourself. Like
Yeah,
that part is so. I understand. Like I know I just said about the nonverbal cue thing, but if you've been getting beat up all your life, never once were you like, here come beat up. Like here come beat up right now. You gotta move.
Yeah, there was no head movement at all. Maybe it was just all shock. But yeah, he just and he kept going. So shout out to him for that. Kept going. It would have been that night. It would have went from bizarre to like I don't want to say tragic, but pretty damn sad if like he were to be like knocked out on stage. How crazy would it have been? If like, oh, what are we? I bet they still would have applauded too. They would have been like carrying Chris Rock out in a stretcher, and then they would have applauded him out.
Because there was a moment in time where people thought it was fake. People thought it was staged.
Everyone was laughing right afterwards. Like it looked like it could have been staged, but the way how it like you heard the microphone get hit, for me, I was like, oh, that sounds real. I don't know, that sounds very genuine. And then afterwards, of course, when he's sitting down, it's like, oh, this is most definitely real.
My wife's name out your fucking mouth.
It's a new ringtone right there. That soundbite is engraved in our heads. Well, Will Smith, as always, man, I'm rooting for you. It's not a great moment or whatever, and I say it like he's listening. But if you are listening, Will Smith, enjoy your work.
I just hope that they don't try to kill his career over this shit. Like
I don't know, like take the Oscar away and all that. I don't want to see that either.
He smacked a grown man. He didn't like touch a child. You know what I mean? Like you don't like destroy his career for over this. You know what I mean? Like
And shout out to Chris Rock for getting a surge in sales and all that. Obviously that, because that was a kind of a crazy thing to have to live through. So
And they said that he didn't talk about it. He had a show in Boston. He didn't talk about it.
yeah, he addressed it right up top, but he didn't.
He got to. He has to have a type 5 immediately.
Immediately, I don't know, man. I mean, that's the thing.
Immediately, there's no fucking way Will Smith is gonna smack me, and I don't go on stage and talk about it. There's no way you're gonna smack me. No, we talking like if I get smacked in real life, I'm talking about. There's no way I'm gonna get smacked at the Oscars by Will Smith and not have anything to say about it.
He's gonna have like a whole thing on it. Like I feel like he's playing it smart. And also, I guess it did just happen. His brother, Tony Rock, did talk about it, I believe, last night. That's our Friday. He was on stage and he opened with it. He was like, "I didn't even mean to open with this, but my emotions took over." And
he didn't mean to open with it, but he walked out to a Tupac song. Like,
yeah, so he was funny. Ready. Yeah, I guess he was saying like, you got to go through all the Rock brothers, and there's like 10 of us. Yeah. So we'll see how everything plays out. We'll see if there's going to be a red table talk. We'll see if there's going to be a Bad Boys 4 where Chris Rock makes a cameo. We may need Martin Lawrence to mediate. That's maybe what happened. Like we may need a Martin Lawrence to get a conference call with all three of them. Perhaps get Denzel on there.
All right, guys, listen up. Here go my Denzel. All right. Oh, I can't even do it. I'm not going to try it.
But all right was already pretty good. Your all right was like leaning into it. So that's
all right. No, but they put a halt to Bad Boys 4 too because of this.
There was a Bad Boys 4?
I don't know, but that's what somebody tweeted.
Oh, that's wild. Yeah. I'm sure. Well, they put a halt to that, and they are making G.I. Jane 2, starring Jada Pinkett Smith.
Oh man. Man. Yeah, it's been a long week, man. It's been like I've been trying to like not tweet about it. You know what I mean? Like just it was hard. Like, the first 2 days, I had to go in. Yeah, everybody, you gotta get the jokes off. I even deleted some jokes. That the whole he got in one little fight. Mom got scared.
You were the first person I saw post it though, so I'll give you credit for that.
Yeah, you know what I do? I've been realizing this probably because of Twitter. Like, I don't really scour the timelines that much. Like, I do like a lot of like posting and getting off. Like, I'll post and get off, but then I'll come back or I'll start reading timeline and I'll see like, oh, this has been said. Sort of. I'll delete mine. Like, I don't
really. Is it because like, you don't want it on your catalog sort of thing of like almost like what's deemed as trite after a few days?
I don't want to be known as somebody that like I don't want people to even think that I'm a joke thief. Like I don't want people to think that I seen something. Like I don't want that. Like I'm literally dealing with it. I'm not dealing with it because I ain't no big deal. But like I had put a tweet up last night about Black China and her kids. And I put you remember the movie Dance Flick?
Dance Flick.
Marlon Wayans and them and Shawn Wayans, they had a Dance Flick. It's like a
parody movie?
Parody movie. It's a parody movie.
Was it them? Oh no, I don't remember the movie, but no, I don't.
Being in a movie where Shawn Wayans, like he's like, I'm going to go pick up my kid. And he literally goes to his baby mom's house, walks in, picks the kid up, and was like, all right, see you next week. And puts the kid down. He was like, all right, I'll be back next week to pick him up again. Right. So I had made a tweet where I found that the clip online, and I tweeted like how Black China spends time with her kids. Right.
Oh, okay.
So I tweeted it and it's been doing well. And somebody had commented like, look, what he said. He said, how are you a stand-up comedian stealing tweets? Amy Schumer energy. And I'm just like,
oh, snap.
And I have no I have no idea what this guy's talking about. So I just commented that back. I said, now that's a good joke. Like I don't know about. So what he did was he screenshotted someone 3 days ago, and their caption is Black China be pulling up on Sundays like, and it's the same video clip.
Oh, snap.
So, okay, it's a funny clip, whatever. But you think that I seen this tweet, and then 3 days later was like, all right, here's my chance. Like, no, like,
yeah.
fucking thought the same thing. what's the thinking called? Parallel
Parallel
thinking.
thinking. Yeah.
Parallel thinking. Like I didn't like see this tweet. It was like, oh, this tweet's doing well. Let me now.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the cool thing, I feel like with your history, it shows that that's not like a thing that you do, sort of thing. Like you have like a following and all that stuff just from doing your own stuff. How do you react to something like that, though, where it was maybe an established tweet prior and you have something that's kind of identical?
So like I told you, I deleted.
You deleted the video tweet.
This one I didn't delete
I
because
see.
it's doing really
You're
well.
like, this is a good joke. This is
It's doing really well. Like I'm getting followers. It's doing really well. And I had, but when somebody accuses me of stealing a joke, I have to like. It's been 1,000 comments, and I didn't respond. But I seen that one. I was just like, hold on, we're not gonna have this. You know what I mean? We're not going because I didn't. Like I didn't. Like you know what I mean? Like
right.
that'd be so. Like I know comedians that do that kind of shit. I've seen people copy and paste tweets and put them on their Facebook. I watch it happen every day.
Yeah.
You know
I
what
saw
I
it
mean?
even this week. I kind of get what you mean of like wanting to delete that one because I've seen that this week of people just like straight up taking things verbatim. Um, that's no reason, not necessarily no reason for me. I just haven't really commented on it in terms of online presence because I always call it like the Beyonce effect, which I'm sure there's a different name for it, but that's how I associate it. Where it's like when there's so much hype around something, it kind of discourages me from adding my input on in a social media level. Like I talk to friends about it, like I'll message people because it's like that is a wild thing that I do want to talk about. But when it comes to like comedically, it feels like too on the nose. I don't know. I don't want to even say like, oh, I'm above it or anything like that because I'm not. But it's not as an attractive of a topic to make jokes about it if it's all we're hearing. If we're hearing nonstop jokes, I don't feel necessarily need to put my take in. And some people may deem that as like a comedically irresponsible or comedically lazy, perhaps. But I don't see it that way.
So
that's my take.
I feel so. This is what I learned just because of social media, right?
Yeah.
Trying to go against the current is so hard.
Mm.
What I've learned for me is I need to go with the current and be the best swimmer. That makes
really
sense. Like I need to, I seen like with the Will Smith thing. I seen all these jokes happening, and I thought of something that I thought was the cleverest, and then put it out.
Right.
But I seen that it wasn't. I just took it down. Just like okay, not everybody's on the same type thinking, so I took it down. But like that's what my goal is. My goal is to be like, all right, it's so difficult because everyone's talking about it. Let me see how good I can be and like talk about it, but like be funnier. And I love to be that tweet or that status where people go, oh, this is the funniest take.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I didn't think like this, or you know what I mean? Like that's where I don't like when people say it's one thing to like just not talk about it. I get that, right? But I hate when people try to go against the current and be like, oh, now y'all want to talk about two black men at the Oscars? It's like we're gonna talk about this. Like
yeah. I do think that is corny. I think it is corny to be like, oh, this is all we're talking about. It's like, yeah, yes. I think it's on the forefront of many of our minds. Yeah, it makes sense. If you are going to talk about something, it makes sense that this would be one of them. So going vocally being against the grain, I think is a little it feels almost like the 12-year-old at the dinner table that's rebelling because that's what they know.
Just because.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that the person that's trying to be the rebel, that's like the weakest one. Like it takes a lot of energy though to not like you gotta be strong to just not talk about it. But I try to take the stance of let me try to have the funniest. That's just what I do.
No, I can respect that. I took the approach of my challenge. I had a monthly challenge of write a page per day, which is now entering month 3. So my challenge on that one for the Monday was to write a journal entry from the perspective of Chris Rock, of like what is Chris Rock thinking, and just have a journal long one for that. So that was my like one creative endeavor of exploring it, but didn't feel so much of a need. I did address it a little bit last night on the show, just from like a riff. We had an audience member who was a little controlling of his significant other, and there was kind of like a moment where I was like, oh, why did she just yell stop at you? And then everyone was just like, oh, so as the commander of the room, I had to address it a little bit, and I threw something
Yeah.
in there. So yeah, we'll see what kind of things that comes out of it. We'll see how it affects the careers of everyone involved. The comedy world, I don't think it will affect the comedy world. I really don't. Um, but we shall see. Real quick, I wanted to get in some prop suggestions. You cool with that?
Yeah, that's cool.
Prop suggestions. We were just talking about online security and just kind of protecting yourself a bit earlier in the show, whether it be for family members, yourself. My prop suggestion for this one: if you have a laptop, a lot of times it has the camera on there, and sometimes it's like, oh man, do I really want this camera on me? And if I have my laptop open, is the camera just secretly on the whole time? Am I always being recorded? Are people seeing me as I'm like practicing the tuba? I don't know. I want to suggest to you, everyone, get the little switches that you can put on top of your camera. Nice little mute situation. You know, say you're in your room, you have your laptop open, and you maybe be doing little things, you know, practicing the tuba, working on your keyboard and all that. You don't really want people to see you, though. Maybe you're not having the best hair day. Get one of these on, they can't see you. Also, if you're addicted to pornography, this is helpful because you know you don't want any recordings of you dingling with your dilly. Yes, not to say that that's what I'm doing wrong.
Dilly.
Yeah, that's I don't use this laptop for this reason. This laptop is for PE, but no, it's always nice just to have a little privacy here and there.
PE, does that stand for private ejaculation? What does that stand for?
That's not. It's not the name of this podcast. No, that's not what. That's I could see why you thought that, but
do you really have like stickers to put over your laptop thing?
Oh yeah, so no, it's an actual like filter that you put. It's you stick it onto the Mac itself, our PC, and it's a little switch that tabs over. So I just like swipe it over, and you can't see me. I swipe it over here. Wagwan. It's very nice. You get to do like the back and forth.
You know how much dilly dallying with your dilly you got to do in order to get one of those things?
Yeah, but that's not why I got it. So that's not why I got it. It was just like a matter of like I'm pretty sure with these computers, and if there are like a matter of like mass recordings, they're not catching me doing anything too crazy. But it's just for peace of mind. Sometimes it's like, or even if you're doing a meeting over Zoom, because I got this, you know, the height of pandemic. A lot of times you just have this on and you maybe don't realize that there's a recording. So it's just kind of a way to make yourself aware, like, okay, I'm done recording, boom, and then you're out.
Good suggestion for the freaks out there.
Indeed.
My suggestion, since we brought it up, talked about him. Gerard Carmichael has a new special on HBO Max. Yeah. Is it HBO Max or is it HBO?
I think HBO Max.
Okay.
In terms of streaming, yeah.
Yeah, it's called Rothaniel. You know what I'm saying? So
Rothaniel. Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's something to do with David Roth and somebody named Nathaniel. I don't know. But I have no idea. I was just making some shit up. But yeah, I like Gerard. You know what I'm saying? I love the way he moves. Like I just love the way he moves throughout the industry. He's not like at the parties, he's not at the Oscars. He just does him, puts out a special when he wants to, just hosts SNL. Like he just dope how he just maneuvers through the industry. I like that kind of stuff.
I love his use of vocal pauses in terms of like his actual stand-up. In terms of it, he has a really good timing in the sense that he lets things sit. And a lot of times the suspense within letting that sit, and then he builds off that. I enjoy his style. And I did see his monologue of SNL last night. It was solid.
Yeah, I watched it too. It was really good. It was good, man. It was it just amazes me how you can just do like a 6 minute set with a callback. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's just perfect. You know what I mean? Like
it's when you talk about like how Chris Rock needs to come up with like material for the incident. And we saw Gerard Carmichael have like a whole set without even mentioning it, sort of thing. So that was pretty cool. But it's different. I think it's a little different.
Chris Rock need to have 30 minutes on this shit. He could easily have 30 minutes on it. But I understand why he might not want to say anything about it because he wants to make sure it's perfect first. Yeah. But his like not perfect is still pretty good.
Yeah. I'm okay with him holding off for a little bit. I'm okay with it. I feel like it's also just from like we're so used to seeing things right away, like even after this incident, like right off the bat, we're seeing like tweets, memes, and it's cool and all that, but I feel like it makes it less permissible for someone that's maybe a perfectionist or a professional that really wants to hone something in.
Right.
That like it's like there's like, oh well, you only have a certain amount of time to get this out. Where I don't think that's necessarily the case. Well, I guess with news cycles, people's brains, they go into different thoughts and it may not be in the forefront of their minds. But I think it's okay to really hone something in before you deliver it.
Right.
And so we'll see.
Yeah. We'll check it out. But yeah, check out the Roth annual HBO Max. I haven't watched it yet. So so I'm gonna watch it with you guys.
I was gonna say tonight, I was gonna be like, I'm gonna watch tonight. That's not true. Tonight, it's night 2 of WrestleMania. I haven't watched wrestling in probably a year. Your boy dipped out a little bit. Shouts to False Count Anywhere. I know they'll be doing live coverage of it. So you're watching this now. Go back and watch the live footage of False Count Anywhere. But WrestleMania is one of those events. It's like Super Bowl, or even if I'm not watching wrestling, I'm always going to tune in, always going to just check in. And that's kind of like my temperature check for what's happening in the wrestling culture. I'm like, oh yeah, what's happening at WrestleMania? Stone Cold Steve Austin came back last night and had a match with Kevin Owens for night 1 of WrestleMania.
Oh wow.
And just the reaction, like I saw when he came out, like you could see what they call a pop. It was a stone cold pop, man. Like there's a difference between like being like what they call over in wrestling, like the crowd loves you, they're really into your character, and then there's stone cold level over, where it's just that's beyond WWE, WWF. That's just wrestling in general. He's the man.
Yeah, Stone Cold. I know I've seen it before. Like people compare like who's better, the Stone Cold or the Rock. You know what I mean? But like Stone Cold will never be over. Does that mean like I haven't watched wrestling in so many years, but Stone Cold is one of those dudes that like it's just one of those dudes. You know what I mean? Like he'll never be over for him. You know what I mean?
He did. I agree. He did one move in the match where, like, sometimes they'll re-up or they'll get their energy just from an action. Maybe they'll low blow the referee or whatever. His means of refueling. he was tired, and then he got someone passed on beer. He drank the beer and fueled back up. I was like, oh my gosh, oh man, Stone Cold, you're the best. Oh man, he apparently does not get any anxiety because Stone Cold just crushes those down.
Man. He's probably so anxious he needs to drink that beer. That's probably what it is.
Maybe, yeah.
He can't handle all the spotlight.
Maybe, man. This is his first match, actually since WrestleMania 19. Wow, probably over 20 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so like he was done completely, and he came back for this one. It was supposed to just be it was headlining the show. Him and Kevin Owens were just supposed to have a conversation, nice little chat in the middle of the ring. And then for whatever reason, it escalated to a full-blown match with the referee. So 2022, we got a Stone Cold match. So people check that out.
That is hilarious. I guess his pockets that bank account was getting a little slim. He's like,
nah, man, no, I will not talk ill of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold, he's doing his thing. He has the podcasts and the beer as well. So, but yeah, I'm sure he got a good amount for this one. He had both knee braces on. I'm like, all right, he's ready for some action.
That's hilarious. Yeah, check out Stone Cold, man. Oh man, who would have thought? Everybody fighting again. Stone Cold, Will Smith. Wow.
They're saying that was going to be one of the secret matches at WrestleMania. Stone Cold refereeing Will Smith versus Chris Rock.
I would pay to watch them box. I would do like the.
You know what? I was thinking about that. Like usually, I'm like, oh, celebrity boxing, that's so cheesy. But Chris Rock, he's ripped too. Like, Will Smith is substantially bigger, sure. But, if we do like a catch weight sort of thing, it could happen.
No, it's Chris Rock will lose. Chris Rock's known for getting bullied. Will Smith's in great shape. He'd be like, oh, no, Will. Nah, I'm just trying to work on my impressions this episode. It's not working. It's not working out.
That'll be one of the goals right there, to get a Denzel. Oh, you know what? We did not meet our goal. We did not do it. That is just occurring to me. Almost 24 hours later, we did not do a TikTok.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. I don't know what happened.
We were doing our thing, sort of thing. Like we had like a whole performance. Like you did 40 minutes. I did 20. Like we were preparing for stuff. Also, we didn't know producer Pat was going to be there. That was very nice seeing him. So
Yeah,
perhaps if we prepared that a little bit more, but that just occurred to me that we did not do that.
yeah, we'll
Damn.
have to, we got we got to figure it out. Gotta get our lives together. Yeah, because that was we talked about it when we first got there. But yeah, when you got stuff going on, you're trying to get in the zone. It's just it's kind of
Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah. I was feeling particularly drained. I think I mentioned I took a little nap at a gas station prior.
Yeah,
So yeah, I was very much like, oh, let me focus on the set list and all that. So we'll get it done though. Eventually,
we'll
this
figure
goal
it
will
out.
be met.
We'll figure it out.
Hmm.
All right, we're out of here for the day, people.
Yeah, man.
I think we've reached our time requirement for the
I don't even know if we have a time requirement.
no.
But yeah, yeah, and I got some stuff to do as well. But for those listening, thank you and all that stuff. If you want to check me out, I'll be in Poconos on April 16th. Where will I be on April 16th?
You will be on April first of all, April 9th and April 16th, right? Me and producer Pat gonna be in the Poconos.
Very nice.
Uh
Poconos.
world's famous. So you guys know about it. The world's famous Scotty's Comedy Lounge
Ooh, very
in
good.
East Stroudsburg, you know. So
Okay.
me and producer Pat will be there Saturday, April 9th. Kirk gonna be there Saturday, April 16th.
Bang bang. Yeah,
World
very
famous
nice.
Scotty's Comedy Lounge.
Yeah, and if you happen to be in Poconos area and you can't make it out that weekend, the following weekend, 22nd and 23rd, I'll be at Wisecrackers at Mohegan Sun. So feel free to swing through for that. My buddy Ray may be coming by, so shout out to Ray. But yeah, I am around.
We out in these streets, man.
Yeah, man.
All right. I'll check y'all next time.
Peace, man.
Peace.